Have you ever wondered what would happen if engineers' buildings could be upgraded past level 3? Don't even tell me no. If you've played TF2 for any amount of time, then yeah, the concept of a level 4 Sentry's probably entered your head at some point. But I'll give you one higher. What if there was no level cap on engineers' buildings at all, and you could keep upgrading them forever as long as you had the metal? Well, honestly, I have no idea, so I figured it would be a funny enough question to take a deeper dive into. It is a pretty loaded funny question though, so first we gotta see exactly what gets increased when you upgrade each building. Let's start with the obvious one. The Sentry gun gains a second barrel upon being upgraded to level 2, which gives it about a 66% attack speed increase, and then a rocket launcher when it gets to level 3. I'm sure you knew that though. Every time the Dispenser gets a level, it gets 5 more healing, 10% more ammo, 10 more metal, and 5% extra cloak recharge per second. Pretty clean numbers that just get added on top of each other. The Teleporter though just gets an arbitrary increase in recharge speed each level, taking 10 seconds to recharge at level 1, 5 seconds at level 2, and 3 seconds at level 3. And finally, every building gets exactly a 20% increase in total health each level that compounds with the health of the previous level. Okay, now that we have all that laid out, let's start to think about what these buildings would do at levels past 3, starting with building health since that's the one that's the same across the board. Since all we have to do is multiply each building's health by 1.2 to get the next level, it's very easy to calculate what health values would be at any level we want. Upgrading a building to level 4 would get it to 259.2 health, which will round out to 259 for convenience. At level 5, a building would have 311 health. At level 6, a building would have 373 health. At level 7, building would have 447 health. And yet, you can see where things are going to start to snowball the more we upgrade. If you upgraded a building to level 10, it would have 773 health, which is only about 100 health more than a wrangled level 3 Sentry. However, if you upgraded a building to level 20, it would have 4,792 health, which is more than a lot of giant MVM robots. But it gets even funnier the further we go. A level 50 building would have 1,137,554 health, which is equivalent to almost 19 of the strongest MVM tanks combined. And a level 100 building would have 10,362,246,814 health, which is only slightly more than the Wrangler currently provides to many Sentries. To put this into context, if you tried to sap a level 100 building with a vanilla sapper, it would take over 13 years for the building to be destroyed. And by upgrading the building to level 101, you can add another 2.5 years to the building's lifespan. I don't even think the game could handle values this large, since integer overflow would probably occur when you hit the 7 digits, but it's still a really funny concept to think about. So that's the building health for all of the buildings, but now let's look at the specific function of each building, starting with the Dispenser since it's the easiest. As mentioned, each Dispenser level allows the Dispenser to give 5 more health, 10% more ammo, and 5% more cloak per second, as well as adding 10 extra metal to each metal generation. Using this information, it's going to be pretty easy to determine that a level 4 Dispenser would heal you for 25 health per second, which is the same as the Medigun, give you the equivalent to a medium health pack each second, and drop the Engineer 70 metal every time the meter recharges. A level 10 Dispenser would heal 55 health and refill all of your ammo every second, as well as providing just enough metal to build a level 1 Sentry gun every 5 seconds. A level 17 Dispenser is where metal effectively caps out since it gives you 200 per meter. A level 20 Dispenser is where cloak regeneration hits 100% per second, and getting your Dispenser to level 48 would allow you to refill all of Heavy's health in under 1 second. You could theoretically keep upgrading a Dispenser past level 48 if you really wanted to, but that's the level that the last major threshold is broken, so there really wouldn't be much of a point. Teleporters are next, and these are pretty boring, honestly. Upgrading a teleporter from level 1 to level 2 gives it a 50% lower recharge time, but upgrading it from level 2 to level 3 only gives it a 40% lower recharge time. So based on this scaling, a level 4 teleporter would lower the recharge time by 30%, making it take 2.1 seconds total. A level 5 teleporter would have a 20% lower recharge time, or 1.68 seconds total. A level 6 would have a 10% lower recharge time, or 1.5 seconds total, and every level beyond that would do absolutely nothing to affect the total recharge time of the teleporter, making upgrades beyond level 6 completely pointless. So yeah, this one wouldn't be super fun unless we do some generous rounding, and even then the returns would be diminishing the higher we go. And finally, the Sentry gun is the hardest one to figure out since it kinda does its own thing when upgrading, so we'll have to get a little bit inventive here. Since level 1 adds 1 barrel, level 2 adds a second barrel, and level 3 adds 1 rocket, I think level 4 should add a second rocket launcher to the top just to keep things consistent. Level 5 and level 6 would each add another barrel, level 7 and level 8 would each add another rocket, and this cycle would effectively repeat forever. Each barrel would increase the amount of bullets per second fired by about 3, and each rocket launcher would increase the amount of rockets fired per second by about 0.3. This means that a level 20 Sentry would have 10 barrels and 10 rocket launchers attached, which on top of taking up most of any given room would fire around 31 bullets and 1 rocket salvo every second. Now I could do the math and give the breakdowns for how much damage each individual level would be dealing, but after about level 30, the Sentry's just going to be vomiting out a solid stream of damage at anyone it's targeting, so honestly it doesn't really matter when anyone dies in less than a millisecond anyway. Now building such behemoths isn't free for the engineer. The engineer would of course have to spend a lot of time setting these up. If anyone's wondering how long it would take to construct a level 100 building, building, each building level takes about 8 seconds with a stock wrench to fully complete, so a level 100 building would take 800 seconds or 13 minutes. Now, if you use the jag, you could cut that down to under 11 minutes of repeatedly hitting a building, which I guess is very slightly more interactive gameplay. Now, this might seem like a very long time, but remember that your average game of Payload takes around 15 to 20 minutes total, so if you started upgrading a Sentry during setup time, you could pretty easily have a building with billions of health on the last point. Just keep in mind that if you wanted to pick up and redeploy one of your level 100 buildings, it would take around 2.5 minutes for it to actually finish reconstructing. Also, here are a few more fun facts that I found when I was crunching the numbers. The red tape recorder surpasses stock in sapping speed on buildings that are level 13 and above, since the red tape recorder has a fixed rate for downgrading buildings while the stock just does flat damage. Anything below level 13 and the stock is still slightly faster, proving just how useless the red tape recorder actually is in the main game. A level 100 Sentry would do about 5,300 damage per second without factoring in ramp up or fall off, meaning that combined with the fact that it's basically indestructible, it could basically solo most MVM missions for you. And finally, in order for the dispenser to have enough healing to give you all of your health back in a single server tick, which is about 1/66th of a second, it would require the dispenser to be upgraded to level 2,880, which would take over 6.5 hours of standing in one spot and mindlessly swinging your wrench. And just in case anyone's wondering, a level 2,880 building would have a health value that's 231 digits long. If you tried to sap said building, it would take around 100 orders of magnitude longer than the heat death of the universe to actually destroy, or 2.5 hours if you use the red tape recorder. So yeah, this was a sillier video than I normally make, but it honestly sounded funny, so at that point, why not dedicate copious amounts of time making it happen? For some reason, no one else on the internet ever bothered to think about this, which I'm realizing is a trend among some of the topics that occupy my brain on a daily basis. No, I don't take my meds, and wrapping my pills in cheese is not going to trick me anymore, Mom. If you have any other silly video ideas like this you want me to make, this is apparently my life now, and it's also kind of fun, so leave a comment and I'll probably do it if it's interesting enough. Oh, also, this was a very math-heavy video, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with math a lot of the time, so I included all the equations that I used in the various stuff. I don't know who's bored enough out there to double-check, but if I got anything wrong, leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like. If you hated this video, make sure to upgrade your dislike to level 100 before leaving one, and most importantly, have a good one.